Welcome. In some denominations, you'd make a trip to the pastor's study for answers to the really tough questions. Well, let's see what we can do here. Marry me, blessed be. Depending on how you got here, I'm Bishop Cal Lippitt or Aidan Odinson, High Priest. Either way, welcome to yet another session in a very different pastor's study. One of the things that I enjoy doing sometimes is taking two bits of wisdom that I've come across and try to intersect them and see what I find where they join. Sounds almost like an exercise in geometry, doesn't it? Well, that is pretty close to what it is. And so, we take thing one, thing two, and where they join, what do we see? I came across a couple of interesting sayings this week that I'd like to share with you. I rather enjoy them. The first one, never waste time trying to explain who you are to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Who you are or who people think you are. Yeah. And you would be surprised at what some people might be thinking that you are. So, that can be a pretty broad range. So, yeah, never waste time trying to explain who you are to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. It's a pretty good saying. And I've learned that it saves me a lot of wasted energy. And another one. I don't know who the first one came from, but the second one I do know. St. Francis of Assisi. If you have men who will exclude any of God's creatures from the shelter of compassion, you will have men who will deal likewise with their fellow men. Now, one thing I can say about St. Francis, he had a broader vision of humanity than most people in his day. Then again, he had a broader vision of humanity than most people do in our day. Because we certainly have a lot of people who seem to think that other people aren't quite as much people as they are. That's where we get terms such as the 1% and the 99%. And was it the 83% or 87%, something that one recent presidential candidate kept talking about? What I sometimes refer to as the thems. Well, you know, you've got two kinds of people. The us's and the thems. And unfortunately, somebody who considers you a them will have some preconceived notions about you. And why bother trying to explain anything else? Unless, of course, you're lucky enough to have an occasion where you can actually show them, prove it, and demonstrate it. And when you can, by all means do. It'll shock the living daylights out of them, I can promise you. But in the meantime, yeah, when an opportunity comes up, sure, why not? But bear in mind, we have some people who think that there have to be thems in the world. And some of us are invariably going to be classified as thems. You know, the only way to get around that is to try to make the thems a smaller group of people. Maybe eliminate the qualifications to be a them so that everybody winds up being an us. We'll have that problem solved then, won't we? I'd like to see it. I don't know if it can happen. We'd have to all get together and agree. Hey, maybe. I'm Aidan. Blessed be. This has been a presentation of the Wise Ones Net. Merry part and blessed be.